when it comes to dating, there's a topic that people have completely messed up and just made mistake after mistake with this topic. They either brought it up too early, or they brought it up too late, or they didn't ask for enough details, or they asked for too many details and they interrogated the person and they chased them away. So there's a saying that says the difference between landing a plane and crashing a plane is all in the approach. Part of the approach is knowing when to do what. Welcome back to Relationships Ain't Easy. Today we're talking about, like I said, a topic people mess up. Money and dating. Okay, I'm gonna help you guys figure out, like I said, the right approach, which in this specific episode we're talking about the when. When to do what? When to talk about this. This is an important topic. I think we've all probably heard those horror stories where someone said, you know, they married the person of their dreams, they're in love and everything, and then like a week, 2 weeks into the marriage, they find out that this person has $80 million in student loans, right? They got lots of debt. And they're like, I had no idea, and they're blindsided by this, right? So nobody wants that to happen to them. But not everybody knows how to find this out. Like, how do you make sure that doesn't happen? A lot of us, we grew up in households where, you didn't discuss money. You just knew you either had it or you didn't. If you asked for a toy growing up, they either told you, we can't afford that or whatever. But you never knew how much your parents made. You didn't really talk about money or nothing. So it's probably awkward for you to try to bring that up. And there's other people who, they feel like if I bring this topic up, it's going to push them away. And how do I do it? And there's nuance to this, and I get it. There's a lot of fears around this, but it doesn't have to be fearful. And I'm going to try to help you land the plane with the correct approach so you don't crash the plane. So let me just go over a few things. You should be talking about money, okay? You shouldn't run from it. It shouldn't be that scary as long as you know how to do it. I'm going to explain that. But it is important. I mean, you work for your money. You spend so much time with your money. That's why a lot of people, their jobs end up being, part of their identity. It's easy in our society to judge people and give them value based off of how much money they're making. So there's a lot of, it can be a vulnerable topic to talk about. So you just have to know, like I said, how to approach it right. Okay. I'm going to help give you some rules and some guidelines so you know how to do it. So the first thing, we're talking about when. That's what we're talking about this episode. So I'm going to break this into 3 different general stages, when you're dating. So the first one is like the first, maybe second or third date. So everything's very new. You're just getting to know this person, okay? It's okay to talk about money, but let me tell you when and exactly what to do and what not to do. So when it's early like this, you just want to ask simple questions. You want to ask them, what do you do for a living? Okay. Do you have a job? Basically. All right. And you want to start off with that because it's something easy. Again, asking about money can be a vulnerable topic. It can be a tricky one. I will say you're asking small things, right? So if you watch any of the episodes, I explain how when you're learning to trust someone in a relationship, a lot of times people say, oh, how do I do it? Like, there's some people who, day one, they just give them all the trust and they usually end up getting hurt, obviously. And there's some other people who are the opposites. They're like, I'm never going to trust them. It's been 5 years. And, obviously they end up getting hurt and the other person gets hurt. So what you do is you want to take steps, you give a little bit and then see how they react, see how they treat it. Are they going to be respectful about it? Or, and then based off of how they react to the little step you take, then over time you start going further and further, deeper and deeper, and opening up more and more. So you're going to do the same thing with money. You're going to ask, slowly, step by step. And B, if someone asks you too much, you just, you can politely let them know, like, oh, yeah, I don't really feel comfortable with that, but I can tell you this and something that you're more comfortable. So I want to get that out the way so you understand my process and kind of the overall method, okay? So now you're on your first few dates. What can you ask about money? Again, like I said, you can ask about, what do you do? Do you have a job, hopefully? And you can learn a lot from this, if you just have to know how much the person makes. If they give you the profession, you can always Google it and get an idea of how much they make. And to be honest, there's none of your business at this point. You just met them. And so that's more than enough information right there. If they don't have a job, it could be a red flag. If they get real defensive, that can be a red flag. That could either be they aren't used to that and they don't know how to answer that question, or they're trying to hide something. So it's good to ask and ask early, but be respectful. And again, if someone asks you too much, set boundaries. So then stage 2 would be, this is more like I want to say like 6 to 7, 8 date range. So it's like probably right about around the time when you're thinking about becoming official, but you're still not official yet and you're still dating. And again, a lot of this, don't just write these dates down like, so I can't do it to the 5th date. A lot of this also has to do with how much you're talking in between the dates, and how deep your conversations are going and different things like that. So this is just kind of a general rule of thumb. But the second thing you want to do is, or second stage, is now you can start asking more questions, right? So now you can start asking questions like, do you have a budget? Do you stick to that budget? You can ask for stuff like financial goals that they have. Are you trying to purchase something? Are you trying to get debt free? Those are okay questions. Again, you're not asking for too much detail, but you're starting to get a little bit more idea. Like, you want to know. So like if they say, oh man, I'm horrible with my budget, then that can probably clue you into they probably have debt, right? If they say they're great with their budget, that means either they don't have a lot of debt, or if they do have a debt, they have a plan and they're working that plan. And so whatever they answer you with, if they say, oh man, I got a plan and a budget and I stick to it, verify, all right? Verify that they do that. So let their actions prove what they said is right. Many times people just, because, you're so in love, you got butterflies, you got a crush, whatever, you just believe, you want to believe everything they say because, all you see is the good about them, but you want to make sure you don't just believe what they say. You want to verify what they say with their actions. Then you trust them. Okay. So they are innocent until proven guilty. All right. In this case, or they are in the neutral zone until you see their actions, and then you can either trust them or not trust them. So those are good questions. Again, they don't pry too much. They allow you to verify something in the future. If they say, oh yeah, I only eat out 3 times a week, and then every time you text them or something, they're out eating again, and you're counting 5, 6, 7 times, then you can say, okay, that's a red flag. Okay. So, and then again, you can be gradually asking more questions. It just kind of depends on the person. But definitely, before you decide that you want to get down on one knee and propose, and before you say yes, so this is going to be around the time you guys have actually been talking about marriage, and you've already been official for a while, and you've probably met their parents, and they've met your parents. Anyway, you want to know everything about their finances, okay? Now's the time to share everything. When you get married, there shouldn't be any secrets between you, and that includes your finances. When you get married, it's no longer just me, it's we, all right? So they need to know. So, you say, well, John, what do you mean? So what I mean is you need to show them, they should be able to see, your accounts. They should be able to see how much debt you have. You should show them, here's my student loans, here's credit card debt, whatever. And they should know how much you make. If now, hopefully, you shouldn't have to get their actual like pay stub or anything. But if they show you their account, you should see the history, and you should be able to see like recurring deposits. So you could probably figure out from there. But you need to actually see it. And now again, you can verify. So when they were saying all this in the past, like, oh yeah, I stick to a budget, you can see. You can show me the budget. Let me see. How do you keep the budget? Now these are questions you know. It's not fair to hide these things from someone. And you deserve to know once you get to the stage, not when you first meet them, once you get to the stage where you're like, this is going to become something more than just dating. We're going to become, husband and wife. That's what you need to know. And that's how you avoid having the surprise, or at least you lessen the chance of, hopefully by now you have vetted this person out, whether or not you can trust them. So you should know, like, okay, I've been verifying and they've been passing all the small things. Because, if you can be, the Bible says if you can be faithful over some small things, then you can be faithful over large things. And if you can't be faithful over the small things, then you can't be faithful over the large things. So if you can't trust them to do small stuff, like if they say they're not going to go out to eat tonight, or they're going to save money and then they go out to eat, you probably can't trust them not to make other bad financial situations or bad decisions. So yes, you need to know everything. So to kind of summarize this up, money is a discussion you need to be having as you're looking for your husband and wife, but you need to know how to do it. There's some nuance to it. Again, the difference between crashing a plane and landing a plane is all in the approach. So you need to know when to ask what. You want to start off small. First few dates, just, do you have a job? What do you do? As you get deeper into it, then you can start asking questions. Do you have a budget? How do you budget? Do you have any financial goals? And then when you guys are really serious and you think, like, if you're ring shopping and stuff like that, you need to be sharing everything about your finances. Todo. And that's Spanish for everything. So you need to do that. Okay. Now, if this has helped you, or it's helped someone else, or you think it'll help someone else, or it'll help someone else, I ask you just to, if you haven't subscribe, like, that helps me out a lot. And then, like I said, if you know someone else, share it, be a help to them. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I can answer those for you. And if you have something you want me to talk about that you think, I would need a whole episode for, please let me know. The best way to let me know is at Relationships Ain't Easy, no apostrophe, on Instagram. And you can DM me, and if it's good, if it's a good idea, I'll shout you out and I'll make an episode about it. And so it'll be great. Well, again, thank you, and I will see you later.